All right. What's up, everybody? It's Keith. You're watching another edition of the Weekly Ritual Ghost Cults News Show everywhere on the web, streaming. Me here, you there, talking rock and metal. This is our weekly news catch-up. We missed last week's show. Sorry. I had a strenuous week with travel and then a migraine, and I'm back now. So we're rocking our show. I'm going to bring you all the big news, big festivals, big concert tours, big drama, big album releases. It's been interesting, I'll tell you that. Let's just make sure I got everything. You guys can hear me all right. I think so. Got a new microphone, got some new lights, so hopefully I look pretty cool. We'll see. Doing my best here. What's up, I Am Band? Good to see you on your stream earlier, as well as your new video on YouTube that I really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to more of those wherever they happen. So let's see. Let's make sure our ticker is here. Of course, we are here from ghostcultmag.com, your everyday source for metal news, reviews, interviews, and the like. I got my new friend here, Mr. Shark. He's really awesome. Picked him up at Alamo Draft House. So the Marvels this week, it was marvelous, for lack of a better vernacular. And lots of stuff to get into. Wayne Edwards is here. What's up, Wayne? Got your Punk in the Park coverage coming hopefully tomorrow. Thank you very much for sending all that over. Wayne, by the way, is not only a ghost cultist out of the Midwest, but he has also got a fine website and blog of his own, Flying Fiddlesticks blog. I hope I said that correctly. That's pretty badass. Do a lot of stuff by yourself there, pal. And again, we're honored to work with you. And I hope to see you in 2024. It didn't work out this year, but hopefully we'll see you. So let's bring in the deck. And there we go. Hey, look at that. You got almost the right setup and everything. By the way, I am rocking the shirt of the Chance from Poughkeepsie, now defunct. Very sadly defunct. I saw many of my favorite shows ever while I was there as a resident in New York, and even sometimes traveled from out of town. So, quite the bummer that they're now closed down. The last show ever there was Hatebreed. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago on the last edition of the show. So let's get through this thing. Let's do the deck. Some sound effects in my ears I don't love, but all good. As this show usually works, by the way, we'll answer any and all of your questions. If you give us a donation, we'll put your questions to the front. Obviously, that does include friends of the show and people who work for Ghost Cult. But if you want to drop us $1 or $2 on YouTube, or make a donation to our Ko-fi or Cash App or anything else we take money on, feel free to drop us a coin and we will put your request to the top. We also now have memberships on YouTube. I should really talk about that. We're going to do a little piece of video content for that soon. We finally got approved for memberships. So if you want to join, we're going to do exclusive video chats and perks and special Q&As and probably other stuff in the future. We have several membership levels, but really our expectation is that if anybody signs up, maybe they're going to come in on the low end, and we'd be fine with that, actually. But anyway, moving right along. So this is the housekeeping, the layout of the show. I'm giving it to you now. Then we break into our announcements. And so here's our announcements. Find a better announcement meme someday. Drinking a Liquid Death, not a sponsor of the show at the moment, but an affiliate partner here at the channel. So, we're on all the socials. I know people are burned out and tired of social media, but we're on all the things. So, X is still a thing. Threads, we're doing a lot there now. I really am enjoying it. Blue Sky. If you're tired of the social media feeds and you feel like you're not seeing what you want to see, of course, you got to subscribe and make sure you're getting notified whenever we post to stuff. But both Discord and Reddit Ghost Cults exist, where all our content gets filtered to. So if you just want a feed right to your phone or right to your desktop of just the facts, just the stories, just the content, and nothing else, none of the other people's opinions except ours. Go check us out on Discord and Reddit. You might enjoy it. Straight Records is back. What up, what up? So I'm also on Twitch. If you're somehow watching this on Twitch, feel free to give us a sub. We're trying to get those numbers up. This is the first sad one of the week. And, we sometimes start these programs off with some sad and bad news. And this one kind of hit us hard. This came via a social media post from Doc Coyle. Dave Corsile, I hope I said that correctly, the former bassist of Thrown Into Exile, passed away. Seemed like a good guy. Thrown Into Exile, good band, and we don't really have any other information, but he passed away and was an LA area, well-known LA area, musician. And so we send our sympathies out to his friends and family. That's, I think, the only rough news of the week. But on the plus side, applications are now open for Wacken Metal Battle, the Battle of the Bands, North America, USA. Those who win a chance to go play at Wacken Open Air, the granddaddy of them all, the biggest metal festival in the world. About 80,000 people for a weekend in Germany, going on year 26 or 27, I think, maybe 28. And we may indeed get to judge some of these. So we're excited. I put my name in a hat to be a judge in California and maybe one of our guys in New York. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right. Big features of the week this week. Veritas Suicide of the Suicide Puppets came in, and we chatted with him about their brand new album, an industrial metal horror rock with a punk flair band. Really cool award-winning band out of Pennsylvania. Put their full new album out, Beyond the Veil, and we've talked to the band a few times. We've covered the band. They've had some pretty high-profile tour partners, including Soulfly and 69 Eyes. So definitely check them out and check out that interview with Veritas. These fine fellows you're seeing if you're watching on the stream are the Stone Eye, which is a psychedelic rock band from Pennsylvania. Stephen Burdick is the guy in the flannel, very handsome kid in the flannel, and he also owns a DIY record label called Electric Talent Records that put out some similar bands. And we talked to him all about this. We also premiered their brand new video this week for their new track, etc. And the video is a lyric video based on the game Temco Bowl. Got a few more people joining up here on the gram. Gabe of Andy Moz Beats is here. We got an interview coming out with Gabe next week, by the way. Stand by for that. Mike GB joined. Hello, Mike. But yeah, the Stone Eye. Check that interview out, Pennsylvania guys. Also, in case you missed it, since we missed a week last week, do not sleep on our interview with Rebecca Vernon. You might know her from her time in the band Subrosa. She has a new band since Subrosa is disbanded, and her new project is called The Keening. She wrote and played all the instruments mainly, with some guest appearances. It's a wonderful album, and we had a very wide-ranging chat with her where she was in a park, and it was a lot of fun. And it's a fantastic, one of the best albums of the year, actually, The Keening. So check that out. Also, you might be familiar with the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. Some original content goes there. The show will be a podcast after it airs, as well as a place for some of our other interviews to live, including one that was originally on YouTube, which is our interview with Martin Lopez of Soen. You probably know Martin from his turn as the bassist in Opeth, and even before that, Amon-Amarth. Martin has been with Soen. It's his project for quite a while that he leads. Fantastic band, very similar, progressive metal in the vein of Tool or Dream Theater. And so that now popped up on our podcast. So if you want to listen to the podcast version of our interview with Martin, do check it out. It's always fun to chat with him. It's my second interview with him in a few years. So again, we have the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast, where if you listen to podcasts, do check it out and give us a rating and a review if you like what you hear. If you don't like what you hear, you can always drop a comment and let us know. We read them all. Hard to believe. I've been told not to read the comments, but we do read them all. Probably a mistake. So in addition to the Ghost Cult podcast, we have a little podcast network, a collective of podcasts we share and support. One of those is the Heavy Business podcast. I was just a guest on there talking about music release schedules and advice and what you should do as a band when you're going to release your music and approach websites like ours, journalists and such. They have music industry experts on all the time where they talk about how basically give out free advice to bands. So it's definitely a must listen experience if you're trying to make it, air quotes, make it in the music business. Also, because I don't have enough to do, I am the co-host of the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing. I was just in St. Louis at the home of the Glacially Musical, hanging out with my co-host, Nick. And this week we usually do a series, and then we do chaser episodes. A podcast, beer theme, music theme. And this week's a chaser on vinyl pressings and actual like how to approach and buy different pressings of albums and what to look for and what to listen for, and to really understand what you're listening for when you hear a remixed or remastered album. To be honest, as much of a music expert as I believed I am, I don't know as much as this guy, my co-host, Nick. So he really educated and schooled me on a way that I wasn't prepared for. You definitely want to check this podcast out if you collect vinyl and love music in general. Want to understand more about this stuff. Also, let's talk a little bit about our affiliate partners and not quite sponsors, but affiliate partners. As you may know, we are part of the newly formed Lambgoat Media empire. And basically, we are a collective of websites under the umbrella of Lambgoat. We're not owned by them, but we're business partners, we're media partners. And so there's a lot of advertising and media opportunities with them to promote your band, your brand, your label, your store. So definitely either get in touch with us or get in touch with Lambgoat. There'll be a link in the description where you can talk to them about advertising and all kinds of ways to promote your brand and your band. You reach millions of metalheads in one shot. It's a really good investment. I work as a professional marketing expert. And so I wouldn't be part of this thing if I didn't believe in it and think that it had legs and validity. Big words on a Thursday late for y'all. Almost Friday. It's almost the weekend, folks. Also, let's bump up our sponsorship and our affiliate partnership with Sticker Mule. Sticker Mule is your one-stop shop for custom stickers, but they also do magnets, keychains, coasters. We've had a bunch of them here on the show. We do business with them. We wouldn't promote something we didn't like. If you sign up with our code in the link in our description or our link tree, you get $10 off your first order, and we get $10 off our next order, which we will make one soon. So definitely check it out. Sticker Mule. We like them. And that's all the housekeeping, and now it's time for the news rundown. Here's the big stories of the week, and we usually start with music festivals, and there's a lot of music festival news to talk about. So RPM Fest is a festival we actually sponsored this year. We were one of the many sponsors of the festival, but they have just opened up their submissions to play the next RPM Fest, August 30th to September 1st in Montague, Massachusetts. A great festival. They had headliners this year like King Parrot and Moontooth and Meat Eater, and they have been just killing it for almost a decade. It will be the 10th anniversary festival this coming year, as the noise of San Francisco outside of my window does what it does. A crazy week this week. All right. So again, down to the festival news now. ArcTanGent Festival, which we covered this year and we cover often, announced their full lineup, including headliners Meshuggah for their only UK appearance, Animals as Leaders for their only European appearance of next year, Pliny, Red Fang, Cats, Bosk. I mean, this Conan, this lineup is nuts. It's always a little avant-garde, a little tech death, a little progressive metal. And ArcTanGent is a great festival, and you definitely want to check that out if you're in the UK or you want to travel to see this awesome festival. There's a lot of people. This is going to be a phenomenal 1-2 punch of Meshuggah and Animals as Leaders. So, just saying. Okay. Ooh, too fast. Trigger Finger. Decibel Magazine, our esteemed friends over at Decibel Magazine, have been having their Metal and Beer Fest all over the country for the past bunch of years. The granddaddy of them all is in Philly, which is in the backyard of where they were founded. So they've announced the Philadelphia Metal and Beer Fest for 2024, headlined by Biohazard playing all of Urban Discipline. I may have to come out here just for this. Deicide with a full album play, Dying Fetus, Crowbar with two historic album playthroughs, Internal Bleeding, so many killer bands, and of course the most metal breweries in America all participating. It's an intimate festival at the Fillmore, which is a wonderful venue in Philadelphia, and it's not thousands of people. It's a few hundred people in a tiny 2-day festival. It's tiny in a good way. I've been to a couple of smaller curated festivals before, and this is one of my favorites, and it's really terrific. Maybe we'll go. Maybe the Glacially Musical Podcast with our beer and or beer focus. Maybe we'll go. After the successful rebirth of Milwaukee Metalfest this year, it has already announced that it's back in 2024. It is moving weekends to a week before, probably to accommodate, I'm guessing, the return of Maryland Death Fest. More about that soon. But Milwaukee Metalfest is back. They have early bird tickets on sale now. Maybe go out to Milwaukee for this. I'd like to go, but we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot going on in 2024. I really would like to go, though. When we were young, this got announced earlier in the week. One popular music YouTuber called this the Punk Rock Fire Fest. I think that's a little premature. Similar to Sick New World Festival, which we'll be going back to in 2024, hopefully. It is a lot of bands for one day. It seems almost too many bands for one day, and it should be a 2-day event. But if you like emo, and you're a millennial, and you like punk rock, not only is When We Were Young in its third year going to be phenomenal with the return of My Chemical Romance and first time co-headliner Fall Out Boy, the majority of the bands are going to be playing full album playthroughs. I'm not quite sure how that works for a festival, for every band to play a whole album, almost every band, but it's definitely never been done before. It definitely seemed very cool. As far as I know, it's never been done before. Very, very cool. And that's if you want to pause and check out the full lineup of bands playing albums, be my guest. Here's your chance. I better take a sip. Right. Headbangers Boat, even though the lineup leaked out at the end of the cruise, they formally announced the return of the cruise next year. Lamb of God is the headliner, once again playing 2 sets. Death Clock, Chimera, At the Gates, Soulfly, Exodus, Corrosion of Conformity, Napalm Death, After the Burial, phenomenal. Unearth, what a phenomenal lineup. By all accounts, the cruise was an incredible success. We saw our many friends play that festival, including Shadows Fall and God Forbid. There was a tragedy at the end of the cruise where a 41-year-old fan went overboard and perished. But, the band put out a statement about it. A lot of fans remarked about how amazing it was. And then obviously to find out that someone passed away is very, very sad. Zach Ostrowski's here. Nickel Sack Jack, what up, what up? We see you all over our socials, Nickel Sack Jack. Great to see you, bro. Thank you for being here. I hope you're staying tuned and watching. Let's see, what else? Austin Death Fest has a bunch of illegible band logos, but it looks pretty gnarly. I do see more choices on there. We love those guys. Definitely check out the Austin Death Fest. Maybe we'll link that in the description in case you're confused about who's on it, because I'm confused about who's on it. Love the black metal, love the death metal. Don't always love the illegible, unreadable logos. A little lint off my new shirt there. Also in the festival world, Beyond the Grave is coming up soon at the end of the month, headlined by Cranium in the UK. Definitely check that out if you love the extreme death metal bands. Once again, just a reminder, Maryland Doomfest has been fully announced. I believe their first announcement of bands for next June in Maryland. Whores, Cirith Ungol, and their farewell tour, basically, and a bunch of other bands. That'd be another one I'd seriously consider going to. I do love all those bands I mentioned. Aura Fest. This looks sick. In Savannah, Georgia, in the winter / early spring. Darkest Hour, who we have some Darkest Hour news coming up soon. Zal, Orthodox, I Am, Capra, so many killer bands. More of a hardcore and metalcore festival, but really looks cool. Savannah's supposed to be a cool town, never been. Would like to go someday. Once again, Bloodstock Open Air. Early bird tickets are already on sale. Opeth, Architects, and Monomart. They announced a ton of bands. Clutch, and many others. So definitely get ahead of yourself. We just covered Bloodstock Open Air. We will likely cover it again, as we are wont to do. We love going there. I got our PM Fest already, and now on to the contests, or the concerts, excuse me. Concert time. One of the big news of the week was that Judas Priest announced their headline tour for their upcoming new album, The Invincible Shield. Sabaton is opening. I don't know if it makes me a bad metal fan. I'm not a huge... I love some power metal in doses. I don't listen to it all the time. I know there are people that are obsessive fans. The Shark here is a big power metal fan. I am not a big, huge Sabaton fan. And I'm going to say that Maiden and Priest in particular don't always have a lot of great openers. I don't know why that is. It'd be like cool to get some diversity happening there. You could say the same thing about a lot of other bands too, but like... I like to see a better pairing with Priest than Sabaton, but that's just me. What do you think? Drop a comment. Lizard Records in London is here on Instagram. Hi, Lizard Records. How are you today? We got a bunch of tour dates from Pantera and Lamb of God again on the back of a very successful headline tour and a return of whatever you want to call it, the Pantera Tribute Tour, Lamb of God in support, probably some other openers to be announced. And these are ahead of the second leg of Metallica's M72 tour and whatever other plans Lamb of God has. I'm sure to tour all next year on the strength of their last record. Alrighty. Cranky Music Dude, what up, bro? What up, Keefe? Cranky Music Dude is here on TikTok. Good to see you there. I've been appreciating and enjoying your content, my friend. Tool has announced a return to Europe. I'm mildly surprised they're touring this much. I really felt like they were going to do a brief couple of tours when the pandemic was over to continue to finish supporting Fear Inoculum. But then again, as one of the biggest selling albums of all time in rock or metal, especially physical product in an age when physical product doesn't sell anymore, I guess the demand is there for Tool to keep coming back. So they are going back to Europe for the first time in quite a while. And as you know, they already have tour dates booked again in the U.S. for a second U.S. leg this winter, to which I hope to go. Priest and Maiden needs to happen, Cranky Music Dude. They, as you say here on TikTok, they floated a rumor that it had been discussed. It had been discussed that those two bands would tour maybe with Testament as an opener. That's what I like to see. I want to see, like, I like Sabaton. I don't love them. I want to see, like, Exodus or Testament or Overkill open for Maiden and Priest. That's what I personally want. But, you know, I don't always get what I want. So Tool, Breaking Benjamin, if you're a fan, has been doing some unplugged shows, and they just announced 4 more. Chief Finney Photos is here on Instagram. Breaking Benjamin Unplugged. I've seen them live a couple of times. They're okay. They used to break out the covers, an occasional chill song. I don't know, they did a cover of Goo Goo Dolls' Iris not too long ago that I thought was quite well done with Diamante, who just put out a new single, by the way. That was a really good cover. So Breaking Benjamin Unplugged might be pretty solid. I don't know. Not a huge fan, but they're not unenjoyable live. This looks really cool. Bleeding Through has been doing, since they reunited again, they put out some music, but they've also been doing these kind of like anniversary type shows, and they're doing a This Is Love, This Is Murderous 20-year anniversary show in Orange County. So Bleeding Through with Unearth, then 2 days basically. Impending Doom one day, Lionheart, and a bunch of other bands the next. It's pretty damn cool. I think that's a Chain Reaction actually in OC in Anaheim. McFathom is here. Got some cool names. If you got a cool name, I'm going to give you a shout out. Cool name, people. Tell me the origin of your cool screen names. I'm into it. Sublime with Rome is going to do Red Rocks with Cypress Hill opening next spring. To quote Mindless Self-Indulgence, Sublime with Rome is not sublime. But whatever. A pun, if you will. Allow me that pun. I'd love to go to Red Rocks. I was thinking about it for that Santa tour with all the Maynard James Keenan bands and Primus except for Tool. I have never been to Red Rocks. I would really like to go. If you've been to Red Rocks, let me know. My name is what I am. Word, I get it, bro. You have many names, Cranky Music Dude. Many names you could go by. This is Jarhead Fertilizer doing a huge tour, huge hardcore tour of the East Coast and the Midwest. This looks amazing. Definitely would send somebody out to go cover that. Looking good. Death Angel already has done their annual Christmas shows, and they are with Forbidden, which they're all sold out. I'm very heartbroken. They are doing, I believe this is Santa Cruz or San Jose with Warbringer, Ex Mortis, Phantom Witch, and more. Death Angel ramping up, I believe, for a new album next year. We'll find out. And that's all the festivals and the concert tours. And now we're going to whip through to the end of the show to do... Hey, Wendy Brick is here. What's up, Wendy Brick? I think I have one of your photos in here. Not sure. But let's talk about the major news stories of the week in our Rock and Metal News show. I really wanted to see Woodrow at Red Rocks. You are right. I love them. I've seen them in some very cool settings, but never... That sounds mad. I would love to just see them outdoors. Let's just say that. Them in Harlem. So Slipknot, man, this picture is only from less than 2 years ago, and there are already 20% different guys in the band. What's up, Wendy Brick? Great to see you. So Slipknot, fired Jay Weinberg and sent a shockwave through the music industry about a week and a half ago. And then Jay came out and said, I was definitely fired with no warning, and I actually found out when everybody else did with the social media posts that were then deleted. And then a lot of people supported Jay, and a few people came out not supporting Jay based on some of his past issues with other bands, and I don't feel like that's, I understand people. I'm somewhat of a grudge-holding person. I'm not big on forgiveness. I need to be better at it, but, this is really interesting. We just really recently interviewed Jeremy Kling, who also just left Venom Inc. Jeremy is a member of Deicide. He has his own death metal band in Human Condition, which he's the vocalist for. He's got a punk band. Hey, Luis is here. How are you doing, friend? Good to see you. Matt Kennedy is here. Love you, brother. Good to see you. This is our weekly rock and metal news show. Slipknot news update here as we get through the rest of the news stories. I was just talking about how I always wanted to see Wardruna live at Red Rocks or something. The Tony Martin Black Sabbath box set. This is a question coming in again on TikTok. That is happening. Tony has confirmed that he and Iommi have been in touch, and that's being worked on now. Maybe for a 2024 release. I'd love to see that happen. I think Tony is very underrated and underloved. I thought he did a great job considering some bad optics and some bad record deals and things like that. I also am the weirdo that I love Black Sabbath Born Again with Ian Gillan, but what do I know? But yeah, Slipknot, man. Jeremy Kling kind of leaked the photo of him with the Slipknot logo. He leaked the photo on his social accounts with the Slipknot logo and then took it down. Slipknot's a huge band. They're not going away because they let some guys go, but I could see them slowing down as Corey's solo career continues to go, but they're one of the biggest money-making, most successful bands in the whole music world. They're not just metal, music. They're not going to just disappear. They're going to, they probably already have their drummer picked out, and they're going to be just fine. They already announced Welcome to Rockville, next year, and probably some other festivals. So, yeah. Kling's a tool. They probably will go. I don't know. They went with Jay. He didn't have that big a profile, except that his dad is Max Weinberg, but you're not wrong. I think Jeremy would be a great guy to be in the band. He's hilarious and very funny. He also had put out one of the best punk rock records of 2023 with his side band 4. And the album name is Skin 4. Skin. Anyway, so here, speaking of drama, this came out today. This is Sal Abruscato, formerly of Typo Negative, formerly of Life of Agony. He has his own band, A Pale Horse Named Death. Sal has been on some of the most iconic records in the last 30 years of metal, 35 years of metal. He's co-founder of Typo Negative, played on their first 3 records, including Bloody Kisses, an international platinum record. He then went over to Life of Agony on their debut record, a genre classic. He was in and out of Life of Agony for many years after that, including their reunion, River Runs Red reunion for the 20th anniversary, and then kind of dismissed from the band a while back, and he concentrated on his own stuff. He posted a tirade, I guess you would say, to social media, where he called out, I guess Typo Negative is releasing a lot of Bloody Kisses stuff, the 30th anniversary, which was this year, and they're putting out a graphic novel with Z2, which is very prestigious. Z2 is an awesome company. We've done some stuff with them, and they do these graphic novels from bands, current and classic, and they announced a sort of Typo Negative Bloody Kisses graphic novel, and Sal is not only not in it, the cover has Johnny Kelly, who everybody loves Johnny. We just interviewed him a while back for some of his other bands, and Johnny wasn't in the band till later, and he wasn't in the band certainly for Bloody Kisses. He didn't write it, he didn't play on it. He's a little bit he's on October Rust to follow up, but he's really not the drummer on that record either. It's mostly done with a drum machine and programmed drums. So Sal has a right to be angry. He thinks he's been cheated out of royalties. He thinks he's been erased from the histories of both bands. So he's got a gripe. But then he went hard. He went way off on these different people he thinks are out to get him. Maybe he's being cheated out of his monies. Maybe he's been erased from their histories for whatever reason. So he's very angry. And I think he posted this thing. He deleted it, but the internet will not let you forget. Somebody recorded it and uploaded it, and Lambgoat, our friends over at Lambgoat, transcribed it and ran the story, and then we also ran the story. I don't do a lot of the drama stuff, but I feel like he's got some pretty stinging major accusations he's laid down, including people out to get him and trying to prevent him from having a successful career. He's got a disabled child in his family that he has to care for. So, I mean, we wish you good luck, Sal. I hope you're not being cheated out of your monies, but also reach out to people with lawyers and stuff instead of social media. People don't, the internet will not let you forget when you post some very negative stuff and do some negative things. But just thought you should know that's a thing this week. And so here's the Typo Negative graphic novel cover. I think this is at the gravesite of Peter Steele, by the way, which is or any graveyard, but it's a long way to go for a photo. And you could see Johnny on the right-hand side of the book there. It's not great. Not great. Not the best, gotta be honest. Alrighty. Metallica, something going on with them every week, but their marching band competition ends today. If you're watching this and you have a marching band, today's your last day to submit an entry into their For Whom the Band Tolls marching band contest. There's I think $150,000 of gear and prizes available to high school marching bands all over the country. Really nice. Another thing happened in the Metallica world this week. They released their collaboration with Wolverine boots, their 4th annual sneaker and boot release, as well as other merch. It looked pretty cool. I heard a pretty good endorsement of them from a motorcycle guy who said they're very comfortable to wear. When you ride, I don't ride motorcycles. I ride public transportation, but Wolverine is like 100-plus-year-old brand of boots and shoes. This is really cool. If you saw the Foo Fighters a few weeks ago on Saturday Night Live, they collaborated with the pop and rock artist H.E.R, who's a fantastic guitar player. I got to see her live once. And they did a new version of Foo Fighters' single, The Glass. And now that's coming out as a very quick, probably recorded previously, the recording, they quickly pressed it and releasing this 7-inch single. It's already on digital as of tomorrow, and you can pre-order it or order it from FooFighters.com. This is pretty cool. Darkest Hour announced their brand new album, Perpetual Terminal. Also, the same name single and video came out. We mentioned them previously. They're going to be headlining that Aura Fest or co-headlining. I'm very excited to see Darkest Hour. I was lucky enough to see them last year here in San Francisco at a small club play their Deliver Us album in full, and I'm now very excited for a new Darkest Hour album. They have former Suicidal Tendencies guitarist Nico Santoro on guitar. That's along with the rest of the band. So pretty cool. Let's see what else. Slayer. Metal Blade and Slayer are teaming up to release new versions of Slayer's debut album, Show No Mercy, for the 40th anniversary. In addition to the versions you see here, there's also this really cool version with blood in the vinyl. I have to ask my co-host of my vinyl podcast there, Nick Cameron, how he feels about blood inside the vinyl. It does look really cool. It does look really cool. I kind of want it. 40 years of Show No Mercy. I once dated a girl who said that Slayer stopped getting better after Show No Mercy and Haunting the Chapel. And I was like, oh my. I was taken aback by that statement. But some people have edgy takes. Here's Sarah Jezebel Deva. You know her best as the former vocalist of Cradle of Filth and the occasional vocalist of Therion and Angtoria and Torn Between Two Worlds. She has a solo single coming out, a track that was lost about 10, 15 years ago that she has just re-released, completed and re-released on Bandcamp. Daddy's Not Coming Home, very sad solo voice and piano track. So definitely go check that out. We might have a new interview with Sarah coming up in the future. And let's see, this is Better Lovers, the supergroup of former members of Every Time I Die and Greg Puciato, formerly of Dylan Escape Plan. They put out two new singles, a new single, Two Alive Amongst the Dead. They had a previous first single, and they are in the studio apparently working on their new album. It is now going to be the battle of the former Every Time I Die bands. Well, Putney is also in Better Lovers, but yeah, it's basically a couple of Every Time I Die guys on one side versus Keith Buckley and his new Every Time I Die band. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, Better Lovers already signed to Sharp Tone Records, and they are expecting their album. They're doing a sold-out pair of Blissmas shows, Christmas shows, which was the very, in the history and the tradition of Every Time I Die to do a holiday show. So that's kind of fun. I think it's kind of fun. Cassetta is kind of a low-key Southern Cal noise rock, math rock supergroup, but they just put out a brand new single that matched their previous couple of singles. They're playing their debut show this weekend, also in the OC. And more Cassetta news coming up soon, but this is their new single. I want to make sure I got the right name because I'll feel bad. That is Picking Scabs. I do like the font that they use that looks like scratchy lettering. Scratchy lettering. Anybody got any questions on TikTok or Instagram? Thanks for being here. If you are here, appreciate you. Caligram, who we interviewed recently for their new album, put out a post today that they are looking for a new drummer. After 10 years, their drummer Ardo is taking a step back, and it's a pretty killer band, so they're inviting drummers to DM them, slide into those DMs. This is one of the most fun stories of the week. Canis Collars. They put out a line of punk and metal dog collars. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, just look at these adorable pugs and pooches with these fun and fancy collars. And I have a better picture here. Here's the advertising for these official pet collars, leashes, keychains, and lanyards. Canis Collars, CANINUS collars.com. Cannibal Corpse and Descendants with the Milo glasses. Perfect. No notes. We're almost done with the show, folks. Here's a picture of me. I was captured by Windy Brick. If you're still here, Randall, this is a photo you shared in our coverage of Riot Fest. In case you missed it, I'll link it in the description. And this is a couple that got engaged to get married at the end of the set. I think it was Flogging Molly. I could be wrong, but it was a lot of fun. So there's me getting my photo on. I think this is on my birthday on September 17th because I see my Hawaiian shirt there under my hoodie. Moving on, a couple of things we premiered here today at the site. I don't know where this should go in the show, but I put it here. The split EP from Asbestos Worker and Gnaw, two grimy, gnarly, gritty hardcore bands. In Gnaw's case, this is their first new music in a couple of years. Asbestos Worker also killer. Also, we have new music here from who was it today? Oh, I'm drawing a blank because I'm tired. Doing TV shows when you're tired. It is bassoon, named for the woodwind instrument. They are an instrumental progressive metal band, and their new album, Succumbent, is out tomorrow on Nefarious Industries, and we streamed that whole thing today. So I think that's pretty fun. Good times there. Shout out to Earsplit PR. On some non-metal news, here is Amanda Palmer of Dresden Dolls. She gave a new update. She got a new EP out today of some chill songs from her time in New Zealand. And she gave an update on the progress of the new Dresden Dolls album, which will be coming out next year. They played at Riot Fest. I caught them for a little bit. Saw them do their cover of Black Sabbath's War Pigs. Always fun. And they are playing a few more. They just did a residency in New York. They did a residency in Woodstock, New York. And now they're going to be doing a couple of other West Coast dates to close the year, including my backyard of Berkeley on New Year's Eve. Here next is, let's see, Bridget Lynch. This is a very fuzzy photo of Bridget Lynch of Stabbing, who was an opener on the Suffocation tour, and Suffocation's vocalist got a little under the weather, Ricky Myers, and so Bridget filled in Detroit with Suppo, which I think is pretty amazing. And if you go watch the YouTube, she did a fantastic job. So definitely go check her out. All right, we're almost done, folks. Here's Will Haven, dropped a brand new video today for their song No Stars to Guide Me from their recent album 7. I interviewed Jeff from Will Haven. You can check that out here on the channel. I'll link it in the description. Really great interview, really great band. One of my favorite records this year. If you've ever heard any of the Ghost Cult preview videos of our albums of the week, or my interviews, or the theme song for this show, you know the music of Fahad Syed. He is the guitarist of several bands. My former band, Salted Wounds. Red Heart Field is another one of his bands, including another one is 6 Hours, but he put a new song out, Sriracha, on all streaming platforms. And I urge you to check out this powerhouse hardcore new metal song about sriracha sauce. It's pretty incredible. I kind of need this on a shirt. Shout out to my man, Bod. Isan announced a new album today. The Emperor frontman is one of the most brilliant genius people in the whole world. We love that guy. And anytime he puts out a new album, it's pretty much a musical event. So he's a new full length coming out. That's kind of also an experimental album. And in addition to the main album, there's also going to be an orchestral symphonic version of just the album. So I think that's kind of special. Here's just a joke meme. Taylor Swift taking her next album for a walk. This is her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, the football player. And he's probably the future subject of her next breakup album. I think it's pretty funny. I'm not rooting against them. I don't care. I know the skin in this game. I don't like celebrities that much, but all good. Not too shabby. All right, almost done. Here's New Music Friday. Let's quickly talk about the new albums out this week. There's quite many. There's still quite a bunch of album releases to be heard in 2023. Going alphabetically, Alchemy of Flesh, the death metal band, has their new album By Will Alone coming out on the great label Redefining Darkness. Disabia, Garden of Stillborn Idols on Transcending Obscurity, also melodic technical death metal. Plain White Tees, the post-punk emo band, has a self-titled album coming out on Fearless Records. The hardcore band Raise Trader is coming out, experimental hardcore creation of the timeless order of things on Good Fight Records. Thrash metal legends Sadis have a new record coming out, The Shadow Inside. I'll be talking to their band soon. Temic, another death metal, progressive death metal band. Devin Townsend's involved with that. Terror Management Theory, that is on Season of Mist Records. And then signed also sort of a folk metal band on Mighty Music. That's just a smattering, a small sample of the records coming out tomorrow that you should be picking up and spinning. To check them all out. We got a few more weeks to go this year. A few more weeks. And then we'll lock it up for the year. We will lock it up for the year at that point. All right, folks. You know what happens next. We're almost at the end. It's the mailbag, and then the show is over. So here's Cassetta. Again, I talked about them earlier, having their new single out and their debut concert. And so I bought their previous single, and it came in the mail. So I wanted to share with you all. Here's their previous cassette, Swallow the Sun, backed with Thin Blue Crime. I don't know about you. I really like puns. Of course, I don't have my implement handy to open this cassette tape, but let's see what happens. All right. Hall of Horror is here. What's up, the Hall of Horror on Instagram? Good to see you. But if you like the math rock and the noisy hardcore, this is a band you'll love. It's actually, like I said, a bit of a low-key supergroup of people. So I'm definitely into it. I should have opened this before recording. All right. Let's take a look at this cassette. Ooh, it's like on a clear... Looks like just a clear cassette. And here's the little J card. I think it's got lyrics. I can't read them at this font size, but very cool. Very neat artwork. Hold it up so you can see it there. Hold it up so you can see it there. And it came with this really cool enamel pin with their logo. They have a very cool logo for Cassetta. Just hold it up there so you can see. So very cool, man. I don't have a cassette player, but sometimes if a band only has cassettes to sell, I support them because that's what I do here. All righty, good stuff. And that is our show. We've come to the end as we normally do. And thanks for being here. If you enjoy this, once again, leave us a comment. If you're watching this on the replay, share it around. If you managed to be here, and some of you have been here the whole way, I deeply appreciate you all. Thank you so much. You are the real ones. And as we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and stay as metal as humanly possible. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all.